Hey everybody, it's Shawn Drover from Megadeth, and I want you to put your horns up.
Back here from the Rockstar Mayhem Fest, I'm here with Shawn from the mighty Megadeth. Welcome.
How you doing?
How's it been going so far? The tour, everything as expected?
Yeah, it's been really good so far. We did a bunch of shows over in Europe with the Big Four, and came right over from France to San Francisco, pretty much the other side of the earth, and did a show that day, and it's ever since then it's been great. So yeah, no complaints for sure.
And Shawn, what do you think has been the formula for success for Megadeth, not only to stay relevant through a lot of obstacles, but also like to always deliver great music?
If I had the answer, I'd make a book and give the formula to everybody, and I'd be a billionaire. You know what? Perseverance, I guess. Obviously, we're doing something right being around for 27 years. You know, I think it comes down to the quality of music and the fact that I guess we're always striving to try to be better than the last one. You know, we always go in with trying to make the best possible amount of songs for any given record, and I guess the fans are still digging it because we're still doing quite well. So.
Right, and 13 is about to be unleashed, and what can people expect?
Another batch of metal songs. I mean, you know, we're not trying to, you know, do anything really different except, again, like try to put out a quality bunch of metal songs. You know, some are fast, some are medium pace, some are slow. I don't really subscribe to the whole, you know, trying to dissect, is it thrash metal, is it this metal, is that there's 9 million different kinds of metal now. To me, it's just a bunch of cool metal songs, and we hope the fans dig it as much as we do.
The big news, as you just mentioned, is that the Big Four have been touring Europe. You guys play California, amazing show. You're gearing up to do Yankee Stadium, which is probably one of the biggest heavy metal show in the history of New York City. What are the expectations for that particular show?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. That's certainly one of the most significant venues I'll probably ever play in my career. So, you know what? Again, it's going to be the same game plan for us, just to go out there and try to tear everybody's face off. I mean, that's always our game plan. Try to give everybody the best show we can, regardless of where we're playing. But, you know, that's going to be an amazing show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a blast.
Let me ask you something. Is there a lot more pressure added because you're touring with Slayer, Metallica, and Anthrax, or you feel like, you know, you guys do your thing wherever you do?
We do our thing, but I don't feel any pressure. I think it's fun. I think it's what the fans have wanted for a quarter of a century. You know, so I'm really glad that we're finally doing it after all these years. You know, I don't view that as pressure. I mean, there's always there's always that competitiveness where everybody just wants to do their best. You know what I mean? And if that pushes us maybe a tad more because of the caliber of bands, you know, and all the bands we play with are great anyway. But you know, you're talking about the Big Four. It's a big thing. So we really try to go out there and focus and do our thing.
It's given thrash metal, like, let's quote it as a resurrection.
I think it's good for metal. You know, I don't know about thrash metal so much. Again, that's just a subgenre of metal anyway. But I think it's good. I think it's good for metal right across the board. The fact that the Big Four is doing something like this, it's never a bad thing. You know what I mean? If that helps anything, if that helps thrash or helps whatever, that's great. You know. I don't know if we did that with those hopes in mind, but I think ultimately it's a great thing for the entire genre of music. Maybe that'll inspire other. Maybe more festivals will come around the pike in America. I don't know, you know. We just did one yesterday in Toronto. That was their first inaugural event, doing, you know, the Heavy TO Festival. Montreal is doing one. I think they're in their third year now. So maybe it'll aspire somebody to do more things like the Mayhem Festival here, you know, more different kinds of festivals. Maybe not touring festivals, but maybe like one-offs, like, you know, like all the stuff in Europe, you know, the Wacken Festival, and there's so many different festivals they do one time each year. We don't really have a lot of that in America, so who knows?
And the Big Four, as you said before, it doesn't matter what, if it's thrash or this or that, is the message you guys are sending all together, because after all these years that the press put all this conflict together, you guys are sending a message of unity. And in times right now, you know, everybody needs that, you know, that push.
Yeah, there is a real unity with all of us now, which is great. Again, if that sends some kind of cool message, that's awesome, you know. But again, at the end of the day, we're just going out there and trying to give the kids a good show, you know? So it's just a cool package.
And of course, when you guys did I'm Not Evil, everybody saw that from all over the world. And that's when it hit everybody. Oh, my God. And as you said, it's going to be a special one of shows. Take it step by step. That's what I like about it, too, because it makes every show very special. But of course, let's not forget, we are Mayhem Fest with a great bill.
Right.
And these guys have been doing it for many years. And it's very important for the entire scene because they're combining heavy metal,
all
hard
kinds
rock.
of different subgenres of metal, which is, to me, is great, you know? For us, we're doing the Big Four is, you know, like you suggest, that, you know, kind of the thrash, Big Four thrash. With this is a real varied kind of musical styles within the realms of metal. So there's real extreme stuff. There's more mainstream stuff. I don't know, you know, we're Megadeth. I don't really we're metal as far as I'm concerned. So we have elements of thrash and a lot of other metal elements as well. So ultimately, I think it's to our benefit by doing something like this. So it's again, I think it's a good thing being a part of this festival. It's a great festival.
And after 27 years, how can people get you guys into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because, I mean, come on, it has to happen.
I don't know if they can. I mean, look, there's so many bands that aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rush isn't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, you want to go with that. I mean, there's Deep Purple's not in the Hall of Fame. There's so many rock bands, hard rock bands, metal bands that, you know, will it happen one day? We hope so. We don't dwell on it, certainly, but there's a lot of bands in line, I think, that, you know, deserve to be there, as well as us, you know. But again, we don't dwell on it. We hope it happens, and if it happens one day, great. If not, I'm not going to sleep any worse.
And from all these young bands that are surfacing, which are the ones that, of course, Mayhem Fest, we have a lot of examples, but what are the bands that you are watching closely and you're like, you know what, those guys could be headlining the Mayhem Fest, let's say, 3-4 years down the road?
On this festival or
generally speaking?
You know what, they're not exactly a new band, but I mean, I really like Children of Bodom. I really like Arch Enemy a lot. Those two bands, really, they've been around now for well over a decade now, and I think those two bands certainly, and there's a ton of other bands as well, but those two always come to mind when I get asked this question. I think they can be the next in line, really, to start stepping it up and doing stuff, you know, playing larger venues. Of course, you know, there's Lamb of God. There's so many, God, we can go on about this forever. There's so many bands. Lamb of God kind of has, they've kind of at a certain level now. They've really gotten to a high level, which is great, but so I wouldn't necessarily call them up-and-comers, certainly, but I think the Bodoms and Arch Enemy, I hope certainly that they're going to keep ascending with each record and get more popular in America and stuff. They're great bands.
Which one has been the best show at Mayhem Fest so far?
I don't know if we've had a best show yet. All the shows, you know what, all the shows have been really consistent. We've had great shows. The bands, when we do get a chance to watch a couple of bands for 10 or 15 minutes, because we don't have a lot of time out here, everything's been running seamlessly, though. So it's, I honestly couldn't pick one. We've had really solid shows, everyone, and which is great. I mean, ultimately, that's what we want. We don't want to have, this show's the best show, and these shows are kind of okay, and these ones sucked. I mean, we've kind of been right across the board, had really good, solid shows, so.
Hey man, exciting times for Megadeth. New record, Big Four is prevailing. You guys obviously, after the record comes out, you're gonna tour the world once again. Yeah. Does this ever get old for you guys, or you guys like never get tired of it?
Well, it never gets old for me. I mean, it's, you know, it's better than being a plumber, right? You know, we're lucky to be able to do this, you know, for a living. That's the way I look at this. You know, there's of course there's good days and there's some bad days. You know, you get sick or whatever. It's just like, you know, things happen and stuff, and you roll with it. But you know, 95% of the time I'm extremely happy at doing this. You know, the times that I'm not feeling happy is usually when I'm sick or something. So this is a great job. You know, I don't look at it as a job. Honestly, I don't. I make a living off it, but I mean, this is what I would have aspired to do since I was a kid. So I'm lucky.
And a lot of hard work and perseverance, as you said. Shawn, I want to thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Many, many more years of Megadeth. Please keep going, because you guys influence so many bands. And you know, and for all of us in the media here, I think probably everybody agrees with me that Megadeth is so cool that you guys are at Mayhem Fest, because man, I'm getting like already chills just from thinking about you guys coming out and ripping it up like you always do.
Cool, man. I look forward to the show. It's gonna be fun.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.